Hello everyone, welcome to Wreath and More live video. My name is Stacy. I am a maker, a designer, and a wreath teacher. So I have several people that have asked some questions, and I'm hoping to get those questions answered and even show, hi Maria, and show how to actually do some instead of just with answers. I'm so happy you guys are joining tonight. I wanted to thank you for being here, and I hope that I'll be able to read the questions and answer them as we're going, so I'll try to stop and pause in between and make sure that I'm not missing anything. So tonight we're going to work on an 18-inch frame. We're going to do poofs and ruffles with ribbons. I'm going to add an attachment in a bowl. Hello Shirley. And by the end of it, you're going to know how to make your own with a lot less stress. So I'll take it slow, and hopefully you guys will get some answers to your questions. So let me put this up here so that you can see my table. What I hit, but it was something that wasn't correct. Okay. There we go. I don't know why it's not liking that way. Okay. Okay, so to start with, I have 21-inch mesh. I'm going to try to turn that one more time. I'm not sure why that's not letting me turn it today. Let's see if it'll stay. There we go. Better. Okay, 21-inch mesh. I'm going to use 10-inch mesh. I've already cut 8 pieces. Can you guys see me okay? Because I keep getting a screen pop up on mine, and I'm not sure if you're seeing it. That's telling me to rotate my phone in a different direction. And then I'm going to cut this mesh into 20-inch pieces so that I will have 16 pieces. And I'm going to tell you why I want 16 pieces. So depending on the frame that you choose, these crossbars can kind of guide you on how many pieces that you want of mesh and pipe cleaners. And I'm going to use white pipe cleaners tonight. So I'm going to put one pipe cleaner on the inside at each crossbar. I'm going to tuck it under 2 rows, the first 2 rows of the frame, and just twist it one time and push them forward so they're out of the way. 1 or 2, whatever you want to do. Okay? Try to get all this out of the way. And so, as you can see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 crossbars. I'm going to need 8 pipe cleaners. On the top row, and 8 pipe cleaners on the bottom row. Not sure it's here. Maria or Shirley, where are you from? Alright, so once I get the pipe cleaners on the top row, then I'm just going to put 8 pipe cleaners in between each of those other pipe cleaners there. So I'm not going to measure, I'm just going to put it in the middle on the bottom 2 rows. I'm going to go ahead and keep them open because I'm going to start with the 21-inch mesh on the bottom row. Try not to let them get caught on my mesh over there. Twist them 1 or 2 times. It really is not a big deal on how many times that you twist them. You know what, I meant to turn this volume up and make sure that you can hear. There we go. You don't want to twist them too tight if you're using frames from Dollar Tree. Sometimes they are not as firm of a grip, so if you do pull them too tight, you can break them. Okay. And so before I pull out my 21-inch mesh, I'm going to explain to you why I use how I came up with what I'm using. Let's see if I can, well, I'm going to use 20 inches of mesh of this smaller 10-inch mesh on top of my ruffle, on top of my poofs, and you'll see that. But I wanted to go ahead and cut it because once I put the poof on this ring, then it starts catching on everything, and I do have some room, but I don't have a lot of room to move everything out of the way all the time. Just going to use these, so I'm going to cut 8 of these. I have 8 in brown. I'm going to cut 8 in this off-white, and they're 20 inches measured out here on my board, and I want to keep them together, so I just kind of use these to help hold it. See, it's already catching. And since I already have the one cut underneath, I don't have to keep measuring it. You always gotta have one that hangs on. I already cut myself tonight. I'll go forever and never cut myself with that rotary cutter. And then I'll go and cut myself for several times. So 3. Sorry, I forgot to put my phone on airplane mode. Hello, Shirley. I can't make it out. Okay, so is it stopping, Shirley? Is it completely like stopping, or is it back on now? Sound in the video are not good. Okay, let me see. It told me not to turn it that way, so let me turn it this way and see if it makes any difference. Okay, does that make any difference now? It kept telling me not to turn it long way, so just tell me if that me turning it this way makes a difference or not. Thank you guys for the feedback. That's better? Okay. So I guess I should listen. Okay, so I haven't done too much. So hopefully everyone can tell me if it's still going in and out though at points, so I'll know. Better. Okay, good. So I found out the problem. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to use 21-inch mesh as my poof base, and I'm going to use cruffles on top of that with this 10-inch mesh. And with the 10-inch mesh, I'm cutting it 20 inches. That's because I'm using an 18-inch frame that will take 8 pipe cleaners on the inside and 8 pipe cleaners on the outside. So that's 16. So math is involved here, so sorry. But if I do 20 inches times 16, that gives me 320 inches. A 10-yard roll is 360. So I know that I'll need 1 roll of mesh for my cruffles. You'll know what I'm talking about in a minute if you don't already. Sorry. And so, if at any point when I'm telling you this stuff, if you don't understand what I'm saying or I'm not making a lot of sense, please tell me, because I do love to teach, but I don't want it to be confusing. So I did lose count, so I have to count again. I need 8 of these because I'm using 2 colors. And the reason I'm using 2 colors is because I didn't have enough of this one. But my 21-inch mesh has both colors in there, so it will work out fine. I'm just going to alternate them. 8 of the dark and 8 of the light. Okay. And I currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I need 3 more of these. So I measured my first one at 20 inches, and after I measured the first one, I'll just use it to measure the other ones. And I like to try to keep them on top of each other because they get caught on everything. And this, to me, is the easiest way to do it. 6. And I tried to cut a few ahead of time so that I didn't have to waste all your time watching me cut. Always one piece little snaggler. And 8. And then I'll go back and tell you about the pipe cleaners, because that was cutting out, I think, during while I was putting those on, but I can tell you. Okay, 8 of those. Get them out of the way. I have a heavy-duty flower pot that I keep all my little stuff in. Get this out of the way. Okay, so for me, when I use these, it's an 18-inch ring. I put 8 pipe cleaners near the spar, the crossbar, on the inside facing in. And then when I took the other 8 pipe cleaners, I just put them in between the other ones. Does that make sense? I hope. So again, just a little, real quick, who am I? I'm Stacey Morgan. I've been making things all my life. I started making wreaths last year, but not as a business per se, until, I guess the business part of it really started in January, because I had people wanting to buy them from me at Christmas time. So I just started making a few, and I was like, oh, wow, it's kind of neat. And then I started making Scotties, which is what I'm going to put on here. I'm going to put an attachment on here, because those are my biggest sellers. Scotty people love their dogs, so I get a lot of sales on those. And by day, I'm a pediatric nurse practitioner, so that's my full-time job. But this is my fun job, because day job can be very stressful, working with kids in dialysis. So I have to have a good stress reliever. Okay, so this is the 21-inch mesh. You won't be cutting it. I either got this at Hobby Lobby or I have a store here where I live. It's called House to Home. They're not online. I've tried to ask them to get online because I always tell people about them. But they're just a decorating store that offers a lot of different things. Mesh, wreaths, flowers, all the things. So, the first thing I'm going to do is crumple, scrunch, whatever the word is you want to use, the edge, the front edge, the main edge, with where I'm going to start. And I'm going to put it in the first pipe cleaner. And twist it. Now you can choose if you want to. There's two different ways you can do this whenever we come back, and I'll tell you the options. Some people want to go ahead and do a zip tie with this. I found that it doesn't matter either way. Okay, but I do go ahead and tuck this down so it'll be on the underneath side. Then so if I'm using my mat here, I'm going to make my poofs 12 inches. So I'm going to 10 to 20 is 10, so 22 is going to be 12 inches. So if I line this pipe cleaner up with my 22, I don't know why I have this other stuff. Let me get this stuff out of the way. And I'm using just regular value mesh, so it's not the poly mesh or anything like that. Although I do like the way the other feels. So I'm going to set this at 22, pull my hand down to 10, and that's my 12 inches. And then I'm going to just flip that out and put the 12-inch into that tie. And twist it a couple of times. And then go ahead and poof that out. Have it ready. Same thing. Put this on 22. And we're going to do this all the way around. And so you'll see that having these pipe cleaners offset will help fill the gaps, or where it looks like gaps, along with everything else that we're going to end up putting in there. Okay, again at 22. Down to 10, there's my 12. So this part is going to take the longest. Were there any specific questions that you had while I'm working on this? So with these colors that I've chosen, I'm wanting to make a fall wreath that could also kind of go into being an everyday wreath, not necessarily just for fall. So that's why I'm kind of using some muted colors. Not muted, but not like the really bright browns and the really bright oranges and bright yellows for fall. There were a lot of good questions on that post, so I'd like to try to answer some of those as well. Let me see if I can get that pulled up while I'm doing this also, so it will help. If I can find those questions, there they are. I want to be sure to get all those questions that were asked answered. So one of the things Maria asked was the easiest and measurements for mesh. As I was explaining earlier, I'm not sure if she's still on here or not, but at least the answer will be on here. If you take the wreath form that you're using and you determine how many pipe cleaners you're going to use on that wreath frame, then you would divide that by the amount of, like a roll of mesh, to see how long you want to cut them. So since I'm using 16 pipe cleaners, I'm using 20-inch using 20-inch pieces on the ones that I cut. On this poof method, it's not, you don't measure it out the same. So again, going to 22, measure to 10, and then bring that up. So I finished the bottom row, and now I'm going to go up to the top row. I'm not going to cut it. Some people cut it. I don't, because it'll still give you the same fluffiness. Currently, all of the pipe cleaners are sticking up until we get to closer to the end. So when I get to this part, same thing. Just going to keep them in, tie them in, and then go ahead and fluff while I'm there. And it fills in that gap. That's the reason why I had them on alternate parts. So again, line this up, move it to my 10 so that I have a 12-inch where my hand is. Push that in. If the feed is still doing okay, let me know. And let me know if there is a better time, like on a Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon, to do a live. I want to try to get all of these questions answered because I thought they were great questions. Donna was asking about adding ribbon, so we're going to do that tonight. I'm not sure if she just meant like in this mesh kind of wreath, but or as in bows, but I'm going to be adding ribbon to this as well. Almost done with the poofs, so then we'll move on to the next part, and then I'll show you how we're going to add them on. And we're going to add on cruffles on top of this, and then it won't look so sparse, it'll look more full. Right now the poofs are just a way to give the base to really just be a base. They end up being hidden mostly. Sometimes it, if you don't have the right color of mesh, it ends up being hidden so much that you don't have to worry. I mean, I've used some really crazy colors before, and it still turned out because you couldn't even, by the time you added everything, you couldn't see the mesh. So it depends on how much of this mesh on the bottom you want to show. 22 is here. 10. But do you see how having the pipe cleaners alternated, that these poofs help to fill up those gaps, and it tends to look fuller. Couple more, we're done with the poofs, almost there. Now this would also be pretty with some candy corns, if you had those, like candy corn attachments with this kind of mesh. Tell me, guys, where you're from. So I'll know if you think I have a crazy accent. Okay. Let's see. When I get to the last one, so I'm starting at where I started in the beginning, I'm going to go ahead and take this last one and connect it on top of the original one on the top row here to end it with still a 12-inch. My goal is that by the end of this, every one of you will be able to make your own poof base. You'll be able to add your own cruffles or pancakes. You'll be able to fluff your bows and add an attachment. Now, from there, I'm going to cut this off long enough that I can tuck it under. So I'm going to take this piece and just tuck it between these other two frames. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. Michigan, yay! Okay, so you do think I talk a little weird, probably. Okay, so that poof is much longer and bigger, and I don't like that, so I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller. I'm not sure why it looks so much bigger. Maybe I didn't pay attention, but you can tell, because I'm not sure if you can tell from your angle, but from my angle it's sticking up way higher than the others. So basically I'm just bringing it down some and just tighten that back on. Okay, and then pull this back down and then fluff this back up. So there we go, fluffs and poofs and pulls. Okay, now next steps, I'm going to alternate between the 10-inch mesh. So I had a roll, and I started out with the brown, and I had oh, okay, good. That's good. Good to know, Sure. I did not have enough of this, which I think it turned out well, because I think these two colors are going to go well. And so basically I'm just going to alternate. So I have 8 brown, 8 cream, and each one is 20 inches. Now, if I had enough of this, I would have had 16 pieces, 20 inches, and that would have been 320 inches, which would have been a roll of mesh. So, because a roll of mesh is 360, so I had a little bit left over. So, I'm going to take this roll, and I'm going to roll in, my hands tend to hurt. You don't have to use these, but I like to use them, and I get these from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to roll in this edge just a little bit and clip it. And the reason for that is because these edges catch on everything, just like that, right? And so they tend to fray a lot when you don't. Then I'm going to curl this end in a little bit, and then I'm going to scrunch. So a pancake does not do the rolls. If you heard someone talk about a pancake wreath. So a pancake wreath is basically scrunching one of these pieces without curling the ends. But when you curl and turn it into a ruffle, that's why we call it a cruffle. So I'm going to start on the bottom. Now you can choose to untwist and add yours in, or you can just leave it like it is and add it on top. It's up to you. It doesn't make a difference. Can't say it makes a difference because I've not noticed a difference. So there you go. I flatten them out. This one looks good on this side, so it just all depends on how it looks. There's my first one. Then I'm going to go with a cream one. And we're going to do this all the way around. So, I feel like I have two. I do. My hot glue gun's on over there, so I'm trying not to let that drop on it. Sharon's in Ohio. What size frame? I used an 18-inch frame. Normally I use a 14-inch frame, but this is an 18-inch. If I had used a 14-inch frame, I would have only needed 12 zip ties and 12 20-inch pieces of the 10-inch mesh. That's a lot of numbers, wasn't it? Sorry. That's a lot of math on a Friday. We should be having wine. Okay, so I curled this in, curled that in. I put a clip on it to help me hold it. I'm scrunching right up the middle till I get to my clip. I don't want that point coming out. I don't know why it's doing it. So I'm going to kind of fix that a little bit. I just curled the curl a little tighter. So you can make your curls as tight as you want before you start doing the scrunching. Hope that makes sense. All right, connect that on. And whenever we connect the cruffles, if you're thinking of it like a butterfly, next time I'll point that out, those are going out that way. Or like toward the edges of the wreath, not toward the inside, outside of the wreath. I hope that makes sense. Hope that makes sense. Next, brown. Well, I am in Mississippi, and we had rain this afternoon on the drive home, but I think that's the remnants of that tropical storm that was down in Texas coming up our way. It could still be there. I haven't watched the news. roll my edges. Has anyone made a pancake wreath on here already? Oh. Now this one is probably too big to fit between doors, between storm doors. I know someone asked about that on there, so this one will be too fluffy. It will still fit, it will be smushed. So it just depends if you want the smush look. This kind, if you have storm doors, would probably have to be like an inside wreath. Y'all hear my pupper whining? And that his tail is flicking. Honey, can you go lay down? No, no, come on. His tail's about to knock over lots of things. He's a big pupper. He's a lab. Who else has dogs? I think I kind of like I tend to end up doing like 3 rolls. It really just depends on how big you make that roll. And I keep making this one on the end pointed, so I don't know what I'm doing on that end when I keep doing that. But you know, it's a handcrafted item, and really the only people that know that something is not the way it's supposed to be are other wreath makers and you. Okay, so I like the rolls a little tighter on there. And again, I'm still putting this on the bottom, and I'm alternating the, oh, and this is what I was saying about a butterfly. So when you pinch it, turn the butterfly and put it from side to side. This is going to help fill that gap between each poof. Okay. So again, I think I'm tending to like a more tighter roll on here on this end. So I think that looks a little cuter. You don't have to, obviously. You can make them as loose as you want or as tight as you want. That's a good thing about wreath making is I've watched lots of videos. I do like Michigan, Sincerely Creative Mom. She's from Michigan. Is Michigan or Minnesota? I love to watch her. She makes a lot of pancake wreaths. Of course, everyone watches Deco Exchange, and I am a part of Makers University, so I have been really trying to learn as much as I can, because I would love for this to be my retirement. I mean, how cool would it be to get to do what you love? Not that I don't love my day job. I do. I love working with children. It can be difficult at times. Especially when they pass away. That's the hard part, but makes you appreciate your own lifestyle a little better. Are you still getting interruptions? Or is that just the old feed showing up? Sharon, is it still interrupting? Because if it is, then I'm not sure if maybe I need to make sure I do future lives in a different area. And if that's the case, I just want to make sure that it's still breaking up, or is that just a response to an earlier question? a lot during the beginning, but you're still having a few. Okay. I might try to do like just a little mini live or something, maybe tomorrow afternoon or evening, and just see if I do it in a different area of the house. Right now I'm upstairs, and so but no other internet's on, so I'm not sure if it's just because I'm upstairs. So I'll see. Hopefully it'll be better. I'm sorry, but if you have questions, please please let me know. So what do you guys think about this type so far? Do you think that you understand how to do the poofs? Does it make sense? Is there something else I could explain better? Just on the bottom base part, what about the poofs on that? Or does it, or are you wanting to do the poofs? Can you guys see how on the bottom, where we've already added these extra parts, how it looks a little fuller compared to up here? It's not. And over there where we did. So just to look at the sides, all these holes over here, and then it's filling in those holes. So the bottom base part is called a poof, and a cruffle is the part that we're adding on it. So yes, this, if there's someone asks you what you did a poof, you added cruffles, but we're also going to add ribbons. So yeah, we're gonna add lots of things to this one. I think the more, for me, it's about helping people, because I'm one to just jump in and do something, and if it doesn't work, okay, start over. But not a lot of people are just scared and won't even start. Just fear of, well, I think we all have a fear of failure. And I think at crafting, we have to remind ourselves it's not failure. I mean, I don't know how many times I've done something that I've, like, oh man, I messed that up, and was able to turn it into something different, or even sometimes something better. So I would love to see, like, the people that ask these questions feel like that after watching this that they were able to do it, and then show me what you did, and that, yay, I had a part of helping you do it. So that's the exciting part to me. Okay, bottom row is done. We're going to start on the top row. Because it's the closest to this brown, I'm going to start with the cream up there. If I miss any questions while I'm doing this or talking and miss some, then when I go back and watch the live, I'll make sure that I get all the questions answered. I know, like, just telling people last minute that something started, not everybody can always get on right then, but hey, it'll be there and available. Alright, now starting on the inside. And again, just move your cruffle around to where it's going to make that full and not that hole, not a hole be there. Keep that hole from looking so obvious. I think a poof by itself, I mean, unless you're adding a lot more stuff, tends to have just a lot of open space. So, I mean, I think it needs something else, whether it's the cruffle and the ribbons, or whether it's a ribbon by itself. It doesn't always have to be both, but that's the look I want on this one, so that's why I'm choosing both. Now, remember how I was telling you that you're going to charge for your pieces by the cost of your material. So usually it's 3 times your cost. So just like I said, if I had ended up using 1 roll of mesh, the 10-inch mesh, because it was 320, so basically I wouldn't have had enough left in that roll to do anything with. I would have used 1 roll of 10-inch mesh, so that you would charge that full cost. And then I use about half a roll of the 21-inch mesh for the base, for the poofs. And then you have your base, and then you have your pipe cleaners. So granted, your pipe cleaners might be less than a penny a piece. I should have got me something to drink. A penny a piece, but you still add in all your costs. So if your mesh costs you, if you happen to get it at Hobby Lobby when it's on sale, $5 a roll. We've got 1 roll of 10-inch mesh, just $5. If you get your frame at the Dollar Tree, that's $6. So we're looking at like $6.16 so far. Add in the cost for the 21-inch, half a roll of 21-inch. I want to say the 21-inch that I buy was $7. It may have been $8. It may have been $8. So $4 for that. Well, can I get my last piece? There we go. So we add in $4 for that. We're now at $9. Right? Hopefully I added right. No, I said $5 for the 10-inch. Makes $6 when you add the frame. $4 when you add the larger mesh, that's $10. And then 20 cents for your pipe cleaners. So that's what we're at so far. Let's say 6 1/4. Or I mean, 10 1/4. I'll get it right in a minute. It's hard to think and add and talk at the same time. And do. Think, add, talk, and do. All the things. Uh-oh. I need to skip one. I wasn't paying attention. That's what happened. See, I told you it was hard to do all that at once. Oh, I did add that one. I just can't see it. I really need to turn my butterflies. That's why. There. Okay. One more. Almost done with the top row. Then we'll start on the ribbon. Do Do any of you get have carpal tunnel or get pains or cramps in your hands? That's part of the reason why I use those clamps. My pupper's trying to get my attention, and I need his dad to come up here and let him out. So we got 3 more. We're almost done. We're almost done with this part. It takes a while. That's why I cut a few of the pieces ahead of time. No, nope, 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 nope. Sorry. Roscoe, place. Go. Go. Sorry. You'll probably hear him whining now. Sorry about that. He is a whiner. Okay, so there's some that I've missed and some that I've got, so that's the hard part. And I may have cut too many, which is very possible. Just want to make sure I haven't. Oh, there it is. How did I miss 2 right in the stinking middle? I don't know how I did that. Or maybe I just had it twisted different. I couldn't tell. It's hard to see when you get to this point, though, when it starts getting really fluffy. And then, too, a lot of times I'm usually standing over it so I can see it a little better. You can also, at 16 year, I can't see. Oh, whiner. Yes. Yes, yes. Okay. Yeah. I've never, well, I mean, I had a little Chihuahua, and she whined a lot in her last years when she was not doing well, but I figure it's just because she wasn't doing well. He's only 3 years old, and he has been a whiner from the day. I mean, I just never had a dog whine so much. He's worse than a kid. Okay, one more, and then we get to move on to something different. Thanks for hanging in there. I know it's tough. But I hope I'm answering the questions that you had. One more, last one. So, like I said, I've learned a lot by trial and error, which I think is how most of us learn. I think the more that we watch others and take input, we tend to learn and pick up and end up doing it our way. And this is my way. Not that it's the right way, it's just my way. It's the way I choose to do it, and if you start practicing it, you're going to find your way. So, not sure if you can see, but it is finally getting fuller. So, we have all the mesh on. We can get all the mesh out of the way. Now, the ribbons I've chosen are just some that I have in my stash. So, they're not necessarily going to be ones you can find out and about. You may be able to, but I got several of them at the store I was telling you about. It's called House to Home, and they have really good clearance sales. For instance, this one was $3, and this is like a really It's almost like it reminds me of a 1970s couch, really. That's what it reminds me of. These two are velvety, so I really like them. And then this tan. And so, I don't know if you remember, I said I wanted muted colors that could kind of go year round. So, all of these kind of go in. Can you tell me if you guys have a bow maker, or if you want me to do it without the bow maker? So when I go to make a bow, I'm not going to make the bow yet. I'm going to make the ribbon tails. So let's do that. But in the meantime, if you have a chance to type in there and let me know how you want to make the bow. And I don't have a true bow maker. I have a off-brand bow maker that I just got on Amazon. It's just a smaller one. But when we get there, let me know. So right now, I need 16 tails, ribbon tails. My tails are going to be 14 inches. So, I'm going to decide what colors I want to use for sure. I think I want, this is a big wreath, so I think I want to keep going big, like go big or go home, that kind of thing. So you do have the bow maker. Well, I can use this kind of bow maker, but, and it's the same as your bow maker, it's just off-brand, okay? So I can, and I do like it easier because it does help me hold. How do you figure out to have tails by 14 inches? Let me see. How did I know? I think it's in all. I think the multiple videos I've watched, I think I've had people use 10 and 12 and 14 inches. And when I use a bigger wreath, I want bigger tails. So if I have, that's a great question. So 10 to 24. I'm just going to cut one off here and show you. So if this is a 14-inch tail, and I gotta have it dovetailed because it doesn't look right if you don't, even when you're just trying to explain something. Can you see how thick this material is? It's really like material ribbon. So anyway, there's the center. And I'm going to cut a 14 and a 10. So, if this is a 14-inch tail, I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to use one I have more of, sorry, because I'm kind of running low on those. This ribbon, if I got it at Sam's. So that's another thing, is that when I look for ribbon, I look for good deals. So, but I also look for it, even though this is a cheaper ribbon, if I mix it with these higher velvet ribbons, it doesn't look like a cheaper ribbon. And so, even though I got really good deals on my more expensive ribbon, because they were like half of half of half. So instead of $20, I got them for $3. Okay, so if I cut this one 10 inches, just for an example, I'm not going to use it on the actual thing. I wanted to use the same kind. I'm going to give you a 10 and a 14. And I guess for me, initially too, I look at, I've done some before, and I did some a 10 inch, and I'm like, that didn't look good at all, because the wreath was so big. And so So this is a 10-inch tail. And this is the 14-inch tail. So if this tail is going in here like this, the 14, you can see that it's sticking out past my cruffles. As opposed to this 10-inch, which is just going to fill in there and you can't really even see it. So when I use a smaller frame, I can use a 10-inch. But on this bigger frame, I definitely need a bigger one. I hope that makes sense. You have the Bow Dabra and hate it. I think I tried the Bow Dabra. I didn't like it as well as even just this generic one that I got from Amazon. So now I know that they sell these things, these boards for people, but I just use foam board. And so since I've been using a lot of the 14-inch, I just have a piece of foam board that I cut 14 inches. So I know I need 16. I've already cut one. I'm going to cut 15 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Haha. This makes me nervous. Which way do I go? Which way do I go? 6, 7, 8. I better have enough. 9, 10, 11, 12. Not enough. Well, guess what I can do? There was another one that I wanted to use, just like I alternated. So this is a good way to show you how to use your scraps, because obviously you could see that I had used this and then put it back together. So if I wanted to do mix it up like I did with these cruffles, let me see how much of this I have. If I can do 8 of these and 8 of these, we're going to be good. I don't think I have 8 of this though. It doesn't feel like it. I'm just going to wrap it on here and see. So I'll know if I'm going to trash this idea, which is fine because I had many others over there. 1, no, not even. This is like a linen. Okay, so I'm giving up on that. Not a big deal. I'll fix that later. But like I said, I do know that there's, I think it's Hot Mish Mom, that actually makes some kind of board that has like 10 and 12 or 12 and 14 or something. She makes a board that you can buy. But I have a lot of foam board that I use, so I'm not buying it. I need 16. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm not going to make it. 10, 11. Y'all. Okay, guess what? We got another plan. And so, what have we learned here? We've learned that having this little ribbon thing is a good way to save your ribbon before you cut it up, to learn that you don't have enough, right? So it's not a big deal. I don't have enough for this project, but I'll have enough for something else. Again, I'm not going to make you sit through that while I put it all back together. Just going to take it out, keep moving. It's all about improvising. So, what am I down to? Look here, we are down to 2 velvets and a tan, which will keep it very muted and neutral. So, it'll still be fine. Can't really tell. As long as I have 16 from both of these. So let's see what we have. I'm gonna be pushing it, I think. We're gonna make it. Oh, I love this one. I'm gonna have to go back and see if we got any. If I got any. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I feel like I missed something. 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ta-da! We did it. Maybe enough to add for the bow. We'll see. These were my Mimi's dressmaking scissors, and I tell you, they are the bomb diggity. I've never had anything cut like these. Because this is some very thick ribbon. Every time I start to cut a piece of paper with them, I can see her looking down on me being like, "Don't." Okay. There we go. 16, our first bit. And then we want to see if we have enough of this for 16. Oh, I liked it this way. Y'all look at that. Isn't that pretty? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Not gonna make it. 12. Oh. 13. 14. So close. So close. Can you believe that? You just have to laugh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Hold on a second. I think I have another roll of this one. I can't tell, is it larger? It is wider. I'm looking over at my ribbon stash trying to see what other colors I might want to use. What did I say I had on this? I really want to use the thinner one, but I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And I may just end up using a few extra pieces on this bigger one until I can go tomorrow and pick it and see if they have more before I put it out. That was 13 of me. I need 3 more. I'm gonna go ahead and cut 3 more of this. It's about a 1/2 inch wider, maybe not that much. We'll put it on the bottom. Okay. And now, last one of the tan. 16 pieces. 13, 14, 15, 16. But this, I don't know if you guys have gotten any ribbon from Sam's, but it's 50 yards and it's like $7. So that's why I was telling you it's a lot cheaper ribbon. That doesn't feel that cheap. So I mean, it's, you know, it doesn't feel cheap like Dollar Tree cheap. Their ribbon does, but it's just not the best high quality. Okay. So we're going to take this one off that we're not using, even though I really liked it. I might use it for the bow, part of the bow. I'm going to layer these. Find my middle. Scrunch my middle. And again, pinch it down. You know what? Sorry. I'm going to dovetail it, because it'll be hard to dovetail all of these while they're on the what you call it, on the wreath. So let's get them dovetailed. I remembered before. Does everyone know how to dovetail? Can you see? Do you need just fold it in half and cut where it's folded to the edges, the points. At an angle. Roscoe, what are you doing over there? What do you have? Sounds like he's in my ribbon. Being sneaky. Being very quiet. What do you have, Roscoe? What do you have? What is that? Let me see. What do you have? You have a stick? That's fine. That's fine. You can have it. You look like a little country boy. Just straw. There's a straw in your mouth. It's fine. You can have it. I know you want to play. We'll play when I'm done. We'll play when I'm done. Yep. I'm talking to some people. Okay, my husband thinks I'm crazy because I talk to him like he's a human, but I don't know. Sometimes I think he is. Well, at least I'm doing this real time and you have an idea of how long it takes to make one. I'm thinking about making kits and having a lot of this stuff, like the pieces already cut, the ribbons already cut, as the kit, so that would save a newbie wanting to learn a lot of time. And it would also give them take all the guesswork out as far as how much dimensions, sizes, bows, and that kind of thing. I've cut it the wrong way a couple of times, yes. Don't you get aggravated when you do that? And it's usually when you're just not paying attention, which usually I'm afraid I'm going to do it when I'm talking. But I really hate it when it's on these pieces that I've already cut out. If it's on like a bow, it's not as big of a deal. But when it's on these pieces, it makes them shorter. And so then it's a bigger deal. Oh, Lordy, I thought I had them all. Oh. So it looks like 2 of you left on here. So if you can, tell me what other ones that you've watched and what other kind of videos or people you've watched and what I can do, or what are you looking for that I can try to make sure I provide that you didn't get from other videos. Hope that makes sense. In other words, how can I bring value? Like, what's the best thing that if you say, okay, I watched this, I spent all this time watching this, what is the one thing that you want to be sure you take away? The 14 might be an extra one, right? For sure. So, okay, great. I wanted to make sure that you're getting what you're looking for. Because the point of that was like remembering when I was this time last year trying to find all the. It's like, man, I really think I could do that if somebody could just show me. I don't want you to feel like you've been on here and you just wasted your time. Like this was, I don't know how long we've been on here, but whatever it is, that an hour of your life was wasted and you didn't get what you needed. Okay, so again, you could stop here if you wanted to, and if you wanted to stop here, basically you will twist these pipe cleaners tight, cut them down, and then curl back the edges that you don't want to be seen, okay? Because you don't want people seeing your pipe cleaners. So now I'm going to take my ribbons. You can take 2 ribbons. You can take as many ribbons as you want. This point is up to you. I usually always do at least 2. Sometimes I do 4. It just depends on my mood. So, fold it in half, find my center, and then I scrunch the middle. Okay? And then I'm going to keep that middle scrunched and put this on my bottom pipe cleaner. And I'm not going to put anything else in these pipe cleaners, so I'm going to make sure they're tight. I can clip them, or I can just tuck them. It's up to you. I'm trying to grab it. I want to tuck it and see if I can just push it down. And okay, and then with these tails, I'm going to make sure that they're facing up, and I'm going to alternate them. Spread them out. And I'm doing opposite directions. So tan, white, I'm going to say cream, no, what do we want to put? This looks like hide, cream, and tan. And then hide, cream, and tan. Hot flash. Take my next 3, same thing. Basically, it'll be the same thing on out for the next 16. And actually, I'm going to just do the bottom row. And again, I want to make sure that I'm alternating these. Of course, your center one will be the same. So that when these, other than that one, they'll be opposites. Okay? Yes, that's fine. Absolutely. I understand everyone can't stay for all of this, and it will be up definitely later, so I'll just keep it recording. It'll be here for when you have time and you want to see the rest and you want to see the finished product. I'll also post some pictures of the finished product later. But you've seen the part you want to see, and that's really all. Did I miss something else? Okay, good. Trying to find the bottom ones and connecting. Again, just alternating the colors here. Grabbing the 2.5 inch, the 2 inch, and the 1 inch ribbons. Fold them in half. And scrunch in the center. Oh, did I miss something? Okay. Connect it right on top of that cruffle. And then fan it out. Alternate the colors. So again, all of these tails are 14 inches for the 18-inch base, and that allows them to stick out a little further. I'm just kind of fluffing the ribbons back, curling them back, and separating them out. So that different colors are touching, and so you don't have the same color touching all the way around. I think this is going to turn out a little prettier than I thought it was. I really like how these colors are coming together. After I get all of these on, I will come back and cut off the pipe cleaners that are still sticking out so that they're not showing. But I'll do that all at once. Another thing that you can do with these kinds of wreaths, even though it's already got a lot on it, you could still add flowers and you can still add greenery. Thank you, Sharon. I appreciate it. It is a long one. It takes a lot of time. So absolutely, it would be a good place to pause and kind of pick it up later. But I'll finish it on up and let it be a completed video. I was hoping to do it in an hour, but it's too big. Hey babe, can you bring me something to drink?
Huh?
Can you bring me something to drink?
Hey.
What? I can't text you on there.
Huh?
I can't text you when I'm on there. I can hear it coming through, but I can't text it.
Why are you on there?
Because I'm recording it live.
Right now?
Mm-hmm. I just got you huffing on live.
What?
I just got you huffing on live. What? I think one thing I've learned is that I need to make sure I get me something to drink before I start a live, since I don't know how long it's going to take. And I was hoping it was only going to take an hour, but it's bigger and taking a little more time. And with the little ribbon mishap, so now I'm thirsty. And luckily my husband needed something, so he can bring me something to drink. Goodness. So I'm just finding where I put these cruffles in and tying in these 14-inch tails, separate them out. So that different ones touching different areas, and they're not all touching the same. Thank you.
So I guess it means you don't want to go to Walmart with me.
Well, I thought it would only take an hour, but it's taking longer. So.
Move. Get him out of the way.
He can't go out, right?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, he can? I think he was needing it.
Go outside. You want to go outside?
My fingers are starting to get numb from all this twisting. I hope you guys can see how pretty this is turning out. I think the colors look really good together. So I do a lot of Scotty Dog wreath attachments, and most of them are on floral or grapevines. So I was wanting to put one on a mesh, and so a lot of the people that like the Scotties tend to want very muted, subtle colors, and so that's what I was trying to do, is keep it very muted, very subtle. It's not like really bright over the top colors. Jamie?
What?
You getting brownies?
What'd you say?
You getting brownie with
Okay.
icing?
I can't. What kind of ice cream?
Icing.
With icing?
I love brownie. Almost done, almost done, almost done. 2 more to go, 2 more to go. I wish we could have filters, like Snapchat filters while we're on here. That would be funny. Or like Zoom filters, like a cat face like they have. Last one, last one. Oh, is it? Yep. Oh, tired of sitting, tired of sitting. It's a long time to sit. Alright. Ooh, this is an 18-inch ribbon. By the time we've gotten all of this on here, and this mesh and these ribbons, this is 18-inch wreath base, but the ribbon, or the wreath, from mesh to mesh is at 25. So that tells you how big it gets. Okay. But this is how it's looking currently. Okay. From there, I'm going to make a bow. So I'm going to move this out of the way. And we can actually stop this one, and make it a different video, because this video is kind of long enough. But I will definitely, oh, I'm sorry, don't want to, nope, sorry, Donna. I will keep going then, you just got here. It's fine, everybody couldn't be here at the same time. But Donna, do you know how to make bows? Do you want me to go ahead and make the bow now, or do it on a separate video? That way you can watch this. Okay, I think I'm just going to stop it here and do the bow as a separate video. I hope this provided you some of the answers that you needed. I'm going to write down all of the questions that were in that that post that I had, and make sure that I get all of them answered the best I can. So thank you very much. I appreciate you guys, and again, just keep me let me know whatever I can do to help you out. Thanks. Bye.